Welcome to our In Focus discussion tonight on equine therapy. This is another segment in observance of May as Mental Health Awareness Month to discuss the option of incorporating animals, specifically horses, into therapy and treatment. Horses can provide an extraordinary amount of emotional support to patients, helping them navigate challenging experiences and develop skills such as emotional regulation, self-confidence, and responsibility. Joining our discussion first is Ella Matheson, who is a student at the Salt Lake Center for Science Education. Ella, thank you so much for being here tonight, and welcome to the show.
I like to play volleyball with my class. It's a lot of fun. I like hanging out with some of my friends, David, Katie, Aurora, and Emmanuel. And I'm here with my principal and somebody that does equine therapy.
Yeah, and Ella, you're just telling us a little bit about yourself there. Let's go into the program, right? There is a program at your school. It's pretty long. I'm going to try to say it out loud in its entirety. It's the Youth Edification Equine Human Association and Alliance, or YEEHAA for short. We'll say YEEHAW in this segment, just so we don't get our tongue twisted. And we'll dive a little bit into that program later on in the show, but essentially, it allows you to incorporate equine therapy in your coursework. So how did you find out about the YEEHAA program, and what led you to making the decision to enroll in the class?
So one of my teachers actually told me about it, and we both thought it would be a good idea because I really like animals, and it just helps me focus on specific things in my life that I need to focus on and helps me relax.
You and I share that in common because I also love animals a lot too. Now, to get a little bit more personal and asking you to be just a little bit more vulnerable, were you dealing with any sort of issues at the time that were impacting your mental health and your emotional well-being at school?
Yeah, my anxiety was pretty bad because school was just stressing me out a lot, but going to equine therapy, it helped me calm down and be there and just talk to something that I know would listen and just sit and be with me.
When you signed up for the class, did you have any idea that YEEHAW could actually help you manage that anxiety?
No, I did not. I just thought we were going to be spending time with horses and just like learning some cool things and learning about different types of them. I didn't know it was going to help with specific issues that people could be going through.
Okay, cool. So that was kind of like a pleasant surprise. So let's go a little bit more into the experience. What kind of experience did you have from the YEEHAW program, and how has it impacted your life?
There are specific horses that have different issues. So some of them don't like to be around people, which I've caught on by their body language. So now I can take that with me, and I can be walking down the halls at school, and I know if somebody's having a bad day or if they don't want people to be around them at the moment, I can take that with me so I'm not in their personal space while they're trying to deal with something on their own.
Ella, you said that you love animals, and I'm curious. Are horses different than other animals, or do they have any sort of uniqueness to them that you've noticed compared to other animals?
Yeah, with horses, they show their body language a lot different than like cats or dogs. Cats will show their body language by just either staying away from you or being up close to you. You can tell if a horse is acting different if you go up to it and they try to move away, or they step closer, or they have no reaction to it at all. That's the type of body language that I learned.
Now, what kind of skills did you take away from the YEEHAW program? I know you mentioned this a little bit, but talk a little bit more about those skills and maybe how you'll apply them in your life moving forward.
In the future, at like any job that I have, if somebody's not really wanting to talk, I understand. If people do want to talk, I can sit and just be there and have the right body language for that, and I can also help them if they're having any specific trouble they would like to talk with, because I've had that happen to me. Like with the horses, I can just sit and talk to them and see how they would react so I can get a good insight on how I could also react to them.
That's so powerful, right? Sometimes there's a beauty in silence and just body language. We don't always have to talk to kind of know what the other person is feeling or what the other person needs. Now, what would you say to other students who are maybe considering or contemplating whether or not to enroll in the YEEHAAA program?
I would say you should do it because it's helped me a lot, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that kind of class. Like, you can go with your friends, you make new friends along the way, you learn different things. Each of the horses have had their own backstory, and you might relate to that story, so then you can have some reassurance and understanding that even though they're not humans, they still have struggled the way you have, so you can have a better connection with them.
Really, really unique skills that you could gain from this program. All right, you've been hearing from Ella Matheson, student at the Salt Lake Center for Science Education. Ella, thank you so much for sharing your personal story with us. I know it's hard, right, to be vulnerable on live TV, but I thought you did a great job. We enjoyed having you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying with us for our second In Focus discussion tonight on equine therapy. Earlier, you heard from a student who shared her personal experience. Now we turn to Brittany Powell, principal of the Salt Lake Center for Science Education, and Karen Hunter, who is the founder and president of the Youth Edification Equine Human Association and Alliance, or YEEHAAA for short. We're going to go with YEEHAAA. Brittany and Karen, we look forward to this conversation. Thank you both for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us here.
We'll start with you, Karen. Now, you are the founder and president of YEEHAAA. I love the acronym, by the way. It's so appropriate to what the program is about. Tell us how the program was started and how long it's been around.
Thank you, Rosie. Yes, we started in 2004, and we are a nonprofit organization, and we went ahead and did a pilot program for juvenile justice services. Under that program, we had a manual where the students were able to go ahead and do their assignments and show their accomplishments through the YEEHAAA program. And then they were able to present those accomplishments to the parole board. And then after we did that, we went into a private sector for behavioral health center. And then after that, we saw a need for Utah with us being the 6th highest for suicide. So we went to the school system, and that's where we met Brittany and the teachers as well.
Now, Karen, what is the difference between traditional therapy, equine therapy, and equine assisted learning?
The traditional therapy is what we use to let the students know that there is a large range of equine services. For therapeutic services, they have special needs and for disabilities. And then the students also get to learn about how horses are facilitators, and that's the equine assisted learning. And that shows where they are, the uniqueness in the different breeds of horses. And that shows the uniqueness in what we have in different cultures.
That's so fascinating. And Karen, and Brittany, before I get to you, I want to learn a little bit about Karen's background. Now, do you have a equestrian background, or how did you sort of tie in everything that you know and your expertise into what the program has developed into today?
I started in 2004 with the juvenile justice system in corrections. So I was a counselor, and then I moved over into the Department of Child and Family Services as a caseworker. So I got to develop the aspects of juvenile justice and emotional and support for the students as well. So we looked at the social and emotional wellness for the students, and then also for empathy, where the students could help themselves and others.
Fascinating. Okay, Brittany, let's bring you in. How did the Salt Lake Center for Science Education, which is the school where you're the principal of, get involved with YEEHAAA?
Well, a community member heard about the Equine program, and they knew that Yeehaw was looking for a school to partner with, and we have a little bit of a reputation of being willing to pilot different things and work with different programs to see if they're a good fit in our system. So Karen came and presented to our teachers, and they were immediately interested in connecting our students with this program, especially considering the bigger need for social emotional learning in classrooms. And so we were excited to try it out, and students really loved that program.
It sounds like it's going well. It's going on for a few years strong now, so glad that this partnership is working out so well. Now, Karen, what do students learn in the Yeehaw program? What does that curriculum look like, or what skills do the students gain?
The curriculum that we have is very adaptable, so under any subject matter. So the students can learn creativity. They have a wider span in that for their subject matter. They have diversity. They can look through career opportunities, critical thinking, and problem solving. So there's a large range of what the student-teacher connection is, then with the peer relationships and how they establish credit hours in doing that.
Fascinating. And Brittany, you were educating me a little bit earlier, telling me that Yeehaw is not a specific class, but rather a program that is integrated into different classes or curriculum. So tell us, how does the school climate interact with Yeehaw's program, and how does school credit adapt with it?
Well, for us, climate is everything at school. We want students to be in an environment where they feel safe. Students who feel safe and have their basic needs met, they are better prepared and able to focus on learning. So we want to expose our students to lots of different things to help them be a part of a positive climate so that they can be in that positive learning space. The curriculum is really adaptable, which is great. We've incorporated it through multiple disciplines, and we've worked with it through our creative writing class, and we've also worked with it through our PE health courses. So that's what makes it so accessible for schools to utilize, is that it blends really nicely. It's super complementary to a lot of the required core curriculum. It's just a very tactile way of students being able to bring that curriculum to life and really learn some skills that they can apply.
And Karen, I'm curious, have you seen students take equine therapy or their experience with horses beyond the classroom or beyond in their lives after they graduate?
Yes, we've seen that. We work with other partnerships. We had one with Spy Hop, and one of the students loves film, and he did his portfolio and talked about what he learned through the Yeehaw program, and how he talked about one horse that he connected with because this horse was shy, and so he was shy as well. And so he was able to go to Spy Hop and start a career in media.
Awesome. All right, Brittany and Karen, hold that thought. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll resume our In Focus discussion on equine therapy. Welcome to our third and final In Focus discussion tonight on equine therapy. Before the break, Brittany Powell, principal of the Salt Lake Center for Science Education, and Karen Hunter, who is the founder and president of Yeehaw, joined us live in studio. We pick up now right where we left off. Starting with you, Karen, how does the student-teacher connection reflect academic wellness as well as social and emotional wellness?
With the student-teacher connection, I've talked to the teachers, and they were so grateful to go through this program because they were able to connect personally with their students and progress, like Brittany was saying, language arts and health and science. One of the teachers says out of her 30 years of practice, she's never been closer to her students, and that's very nice.
Wow, that's incredible. Turning to you now, Brittany, how is bullying and suicide awareness and maybe prevention intertwined with developing personal growth, diversity, and care for one another?
I think relationships are at the core of any work that's going to go forward, and this opportunity is a really unique experience where students get to come together. And you're looking as a school, you have so many different students with so many different needs, and so you need to provide different pieces that will connect to kids in different ways. And when students get to come together in this really unfamiliar territory and build these relationships in really authentic and meaningful ways, it's those connections that really help them develop empathy, because they're, working with students that are different from themselves. They develop that empathy, and they develop a sense of resiliency through this really unique experience.
It truly is unique indeed. Karen, are there any efforts or discussions around getting Yeehaw into other schools?
Yes, we would love to. Our curriculum is very adaptable, and so other schools, they have different ways of doing things. We can adapt to that. So we would love to do a presentation for a school, talk to your administrator or counselor, and we would love to come and do a presentation.
Brittany, what kind of impact have you seen Yeehaw have on students that participate in this program?
I think there's been a huge impact on these students. They develop all these different skills that don't necessarily come to light in the regular classroom. They get these experiences and are able to pull out really authentic skills that they can put into practice in their life. I would say it really bolsters them in being a contributing community member in the school. And they have a sense of pride around the work they're doing, not only with the horses, but with each other and with their teachers. So I see it having a really positive impact all around.
And Brittany, I'm kind of curious about the logistics. Is this a program that students can enroll in at their own pace? Can it be like a year, 2 years, 3 years, or their entire high school career? What does that look like, and what are their options?
Well, I would say, we do try to be pretty flexible at our school, and like Karen has mentioned, the curriculum itself is quite flexible. So as with anything, the more time a student gets to work with something, the deeper their connections are going to be, and the more lasting those skills are going to be as well. At our school, we've had students participate in it more than 1 year. It kind of depends where it ends up going with our curriculum and which teachers are incorporating it in their classroom. But students do have a variety of opportunities to engage in it.
Karen, do we have any numbers, maybe data or statistics, anything that you can share with us regarding the program? I'm wondering how many students can enroll in your program at once, and is there a wait list at any point in time?
It all depends on the school, and it all depends on the parents in the community. The parents need to consent because they're working with equine-assisted learning and equine-assisted psychotherapy, and we have mental health, we have equine specialists and other staff. We work with the teachers and the counselors, so if anything comes up, we have the ability to help every student. So if there's 30 students, we adapt and we just work with the school, and it works out. It's very adaptable.
And Karen, if there's a parent or a student watching at home that would like to participate in Yeehaw somehow, how would they go about to make that happen?
What you can do is talk to your administrator or counselor and tell them about the classes that are going on with Salt Lake Center Science for Education, and you would like your child to enroll in that. And we can go to your school and do a presentation and adapt the curriculum that'll fit with any of your subject matters that the teachers are working on.
And Brittany, I would like to give you the final words. What would you like our viewers to know about the school, the students, and the Yeehaw program?
I just think the more hands-on interactive opportunities students have and the more access they have to good Tier 1 social emotional learning opportunities where they can build healthy relationships with one another, where they can build relationships so that they know they have an adult who knows them and cares about them, the better off all of our students will be and the more success we can have at school.
All right, and we'll also have links to websites that people can access for more information. You've been hearing from Brittany Powell, principal of the Salt Lake Center for Science Education, and Karen Hunter, who is the founder and president of YEEHAW. Thank you both for joining us tonight and for everything you do to improve the quality of life for our students.
Thank you.
Thank you.